Okay, let's dive right into this. We all have those little habits, the ones we're told are signs of laziness or disorganization. But what if they're actually signals of a highly intelligent, superactive mind? Today, we're going to flip the script on these so-called messy habits and see what they really tell us about how our brains work.
So let me ask you something. Take a look at your desk right now. Is it a disaster zone? A beautiful chaos of papers, books, coffee mugs? But then, when you open your laptop, your digital world, your files, your folders, it's all perfectly, meticulously organized? If that sounds like you are definitely not alone.
And this brings us to what I call the two worlds of a messy person. On one hand, you've got this physical space that looks totally chaotic. On the other, a digital space that is a masterpiece of structure. So what's the deal here? Well, it's not just some random quirk, it's a huge clue about how your brain is prioritizing its energy.
This gets us to our first big idea. What looks like a mess is actually a sign of intense prioritization. We're about to bust the whole myth of the messy desk.
Society can be pretty harsh about messiness. We see a cluttered desk and immediately think, wow, that person must have a cluttered mind. It's so easy to jump to the conclusion that it's just a simple lack of discipline. But what's really going on is actually selective organization. This phrase just hits the nail on the head. It's not that the person can't organize, it's that their brain has made a very conscious decision about what is worth the effort of organizing.
And there's a name for this: selective organization. Basically, it's a cognitive strategy. Your brain has a finite amount of fuel, right? So it's making a smart call. It's channeling all that precious energy into the big stuff, the complex, abstract ideas, the digital systems, while letting things like physical appearances take a backseat. It's a sign of a mind that's laser-focused on what really matters.
Okay, so we've covered your environment. Now let's talk about a behavior. Let's talk about the absolute genius of talking aloud. And no, I promise, it's not a sign you're going crazy. It's an incredibly powerful tool for your brain.
Come on, be honest. Have you ever been totally alone, wrestling with a tough problem, and you just start talking yourself through it, narrating your own thought process to an empty room? It might feel a little weird, but trust me, there's a really good reason your brain does this.
This is called verbal reasoning. See, by externalizing that jumbled internal monologue, you're literally giving it structure. Speaking your thoughts forces them into a logical, step-by-step sequence, which can dramatically speed up how fast you solve problems. It's a straight-up efficiency hack for your brain.
And the process itself is pretty brilliant. First, you externalize the problem. You get it out of the chaotic soup of your mind and into the real world. Then, as you speak, you automatically start to organize those thoughts. And finally, that newfound clarity lets you connect the dots and get to a solution way faster than if you just kept it all swirling around in your head.
All right, let's go even deeper now, into a habit that gets a really, really bad rap. It's time to decode overthinking and uncover the hidden power of what psychologists call cognitive complexity.
I mean, how many times have you heard that? Just stop overthinking it, or just go with your gut. It's probably the most common piece of advice out there, and it's almost always well-intentioned, but it completely misses the point of what's actually happening inside a highly analytical mind.
See, what gets dismissed as overthinking is very often the exact opposite of just spinning your wheels. It's a highly strategic process. Your brain is literally running complex simulations, exploring every single possible path, weighing every consequence before it commits to a decision.
And yep, there's a term for this too: cognitive complexity. This is a huge hallmark of strategic high-level thinking. People with high cognitive complexity don't just see option A and option B, they see an entire web of interconnected possibilities. This ability to mentally play out the future, that's an incredible strength, not a weakness.
So let's tie this all together. It's really all about rethinking these habits. It's about making a mental shift from seeing them as personal flaws to recognizing them for what they are, powerful features of your cognition.
So here's the crucial takeaway. We've completely reframed these three common habits. That physical messiness, that's actually selective organization. Talking to yourself out loud, that's verbal reasoning at work. And that tendency to overthink, that's your brain showcasing its awesome cognitive complexity.
Now, I want to be really clear. This isn't about glorifying messiness or saying you should never clean your desk. The goal is to look beneath the surface, to appreciate the incredibly complex and efficient cognitive processes that are actually driving these behaviors.
And that brings me to a final thought I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own quirks, your own habits, the things you've maybe been told are your flaws. What if they aren't weaknesses you need to fix at all? What if they're actually clues, pointing directly to your greatest cognitive strengths? What would change for you if you started to see them that way?